So Lugo had this redeem a bit ago. So we're going to work on that. Casper's just going to sit on my lap and be mad about it. Our Lady Poppy came out great. Thank you, Helix. I'm glad you like it. Sir. There's a way. Yeah, there we go. You just basically delete the background and you work from there. All right. So what I need to do is I need to find some images of Mega Man Battle Network. Mega Man Battle Network characters. There we go. What are they called in that game? They're called pets or something like that. Why did someone draw all the robot masters as sexy ladies? The second I finish that sentence, I know the answer. Like I don't have to ask that question. Like that guy looks like a Digimon. That's a Digimon. Some of these guys really look like Digimon. It's really not enough art of the characters from this. Okay, well, I was gonna try to do a thing, but... Okay. Yeah, I like this brush a lot more. And then, yeah, and then there's 3. Okay. Poke, hello! We'll leave the background for now. All right. So... Hi, sir. This boy. Poke, how are you? Oh, that's very, very interesting. Hang on one second. Okay, I'll mess with that later, but that's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to keep in mind. Doing well. How are you? I'm doing all right. Sitting here figuring out how to smoosh a Quaxley into a Mega Man. Really need more art than the art that you think is enough. Okay. Apparently, there's going to be a big PlayStation showcase next Wednesday. There's going to be a wholesome direct and a sir, handle yourself. Don't get mad at me about it. Don't get mad at me. This is your fault. There's gonna be a wholesome direct and a glitch state of play on the 10th of June. It's not a state of play, it's a big one being a PlayStation showcase. Okay. Are they gonna talk about how they're gonna stop paying studios for exclusives, or? That would be unreasonable. You're right. It would be unreasonable to you know, have fair competition. It would be unreasonable to have fair competition. The only way to win clearly is to spend more money than the other side. Yeah, that's better. I like that. These are the trickiest ones. These are the absolute trickiest ones because I have to fully something Citizens United. Perfect. God. I have to fully freehand these. So, like, this is absolutely an interesting thing. Yeah, I'm honestly way more excited for the wholesome direct. And the state of play. Both of those really inform the games that I'm gonna play, or the games that I'm excited about for the next little bit. They really, between the two of them. Sony doesn't confront the studio specifically to take it from Xbox and Nintendo consoles. They do to help the development costs, and a lot of times that developers confront Sony. The Game Best thing, no, that's ridiculous. A timed exclusivity thing has reasoning. It's not timed exclusivity, though. It's not timed exclusivity. It's outright console exclusivity. It's not timed exclusivity. And honestly, they should consider this from a, if they're considering this like they're worried about Microsoft getting a monopoly if they own this company, they should be considering these same deals that Sony is making. They should be considering these deals that Sony is making under the same framework. They should be like, well, hey now, you're spending a bunch of money to ensure that this game doesn't go to your competitors, but it's not something that's owned by you. It's not a first party. It's not anything you own. You're just spending a bunch of money. As a game, these mergers should all be blocked. All the corporate mega mergers suck. Oh yeah, this is I don't mean to defend that merger at all. A lot of gamers are like, woo, and I'm like, no. This is bad. These are bad things. These are all these are big companies getting bigger and harder to regulate and controlling more of the market. Like, I don't consider myself on Xbox's side when it comes to these things, because what I dislike is the way that Sony does these things. B. Oh, it's the other way. Hang on. As a Microsoft Activision stockholder, yeehaw, so I'm conflicted. I don't know. It sounds pretty capitalist, Dustin. It sounds like you have a problem with it as a person, but not as a, you don't have a problem with it as a capitalist. And I think maybe that should inform maybe how you feel about it. You know what I mean? If the choice was purely mine, I'd block the mergers. But you own stock in these companies, right? Since I can't control it, I might as well be able to retire on it. Again, that's I'd vote against my own money interests in favor of my gamer interests. Then you should sell your stock in those companies. I'm on none of the three sides. Microsoft doesn't need a $70 billion purchase, one of the biggest developers. Sony needs to stop stealing games off of Game Pass by doing shady deals. Nintendo needs to stop doing ridiculous copyright strikes, C&Ds for things not infringing on their copyrights. Copyright law is just broken, and Nintendo is taking advantage of that. Copyright law is far too copyright law is far too strong in the US. I'm not sure there really is ethical consumption in our model. There is. There absolutely is. There 100% is ethical consumption, or an attempt at ethical consumption. You can certainly try. This was the big thing. This was the big thing when all of the kerfuffle about the Harry Potter game was coming out. People were like, well, there's no ethical consumption, so what does it matter? And it's like, no ethical consumption doesn't mean a corporation's going to get rich anyway. So what do I even care? Like, what can I do about it? No ethical consumption means, the only place I can buy my groceries is Walmart, and oh well. You know, the only place I can get like mobility aid that I need to live is Amazon, because that's the only place that will ship out to where I live and not cost an arm and a leg. Oh well, that's no ethical consumption. No ethical consumption doesn't mean, well, they're not going to stop the merger of the $1 billion corporation to the $1 billion corporation, so I may as well own stock in it so I make some money. That doesn't really, it's not really how it works. Introduces the new hard question. What do I invest in? I don't know. I'm not an ethical funds manager. And like here's how I'll think of it. Dustin, if you want to own stock in the company, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. But don't then complain about the actions of those $1 billion corporations, because you're actively funding them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was telling Aaron, I was like, man, we were talking about this literally just last night. I was like, man, I'm getting notifications on Reddit that Hobby Lobby is doing 40% off Gunpla sets. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, but do you really want to give that terrible corporation any money? And I go, no, it's just frustrating. That's way too close. Sir, please. Trying to pin down ethical consumption becomes a fractal. If you drill down far enough, you'll find something bad. Just depends on where you want to draw the line. I just dislike when people use it to try to justify things that are very clearly a choice that they're making, as opposed to, like you're saying, Lemon, like if we didn't, you know, if I fully believed no ethical consumption under capitalism all the way directly through the end, there's no way I would be streaming on this website. Do you know, right? Like, and I wouldn't use YouTube. I wouldn't use Google. Like, we all make concessions in our lives to live, but people will very often use examples that are not concessions, that are, you know, purposely made decisions. All three console manufacturers make money from digital sales. Physical media is dying, so if you buy things on consoles, you're giving money to Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. PC companies aren't perfectly either, so shrug. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about with like physical versus digital. That's not part of the conversation at all. Circles are really hard to draw. Isometric circles are really hard to draw. Just shows way higher now. Companies are making more money off sales since it's like Apple tax on all three console manufacturers. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's the case for the digital marketplaces. So I can't speak to that. I've never seen anyone say that the console manufacturers take any more of a cut for selling digital than they did selling physical. But again, that's not really what we're talking about. You do and accept the bad. Don't look for ways to absolve yourself. Depends on whether or not we as individuals can consume and still sleep at night. You just find a way to balance the bad with good and then try to find something absolutely good to consume. I agree with you. I also think that in a number of cases, people use the idea of balancing the bad with the good to make outright bad decisions. Fair. Yeah. Like, I think that is bandied about too much as a way for people to try to absolve themselves of the harm that they're causing. You know what I mean? I'm putting my own values on other people when I mean myself. Well, and that's the thing. I think it's important to understand that no matter what, you cannot be a perfectly ethical consumer. It does not exist. It does not exist in our society. It cannot exist. And when I say it cannot exist, I don't mean like morally it can't exist. I mean, there is no way to consume in Western capitalist society fully harm-free. It does not exist. The only way you can't, the only way people do that are the people that like go and live off the grid. And even then, there's got to be something, you know what I mean? Like I would have to examine it, but I bet you there's something. Personal responsibility is important, but having true choice takes a good level of privilege. Right. It's why I get frustrated when people say no ethical consumption in cases where it doesn't apply. You know, it's like I said, like no ethical consumption is you can't get mad or you can't get mad. You know, it absolves the actions of like, hey, I just worked a triple shift and I bought fast food for my kids, because like they need food. Okay. You got to do what you got to do. Or the only place in 20 miles that sells groceries is Walmart. And that's where I got to go to get my groceries. Okay. What are you going to do? You don't have any other choice. It's not I have to buy a shitty wizard game because I'm required to in our society. You know what I mean? Like I did it the other day. I did it the other day. We tried to buy something for our hobby stuff locally. We went to different stores. We went to different local stores, and we just couldn't find it. We looked around and I just couldn't find it. And I asked people at those stores, and I was like, hey, do you know anybody that has it? Like I'd love to shop local if I could. And they go, no, like, if you've checked here, and here, if they don't have it, then probably nobody does. And my only other choice was Hobby Lobby. And I was like, well, I'm not going to Hobby Lobby. So I'd order it from Amazon. And I will say, in the choice between Hobby Lobby and Amazon, I was conflicted. I will say, only because, and I even told Aaron about this, because it seemed the only pressing detail. I was like, the only reason in this case I could see shopping at Hobby Lobby versus Amazon is that at the very least, if I gave Hobby Lobby my money, that money would be local. That money would go theoretically to pay the people that work at that store that support the people in my community. But also, damn it if I'm going to support Hobby Lobby. So I think about this with every clean eating your fancy, locally sourced, organic, no emission, what I can afford. Ethical choices usually come with consider monetary expense and make them good citizen badges that wealthy people can wear and make other people feel bad about. Right. And it's a very very thin line. It's a very, very thin line. Question from the back: what horrendous things did Hobby Lobby and Walmart do? I mean, Walmart is just a shitty billion-dollar corporation that wants to make as much money as possible while screwing over everybody that works for them. Hobby Lobby literally smuggled in artifacts from the black market. They literally smuggled religious artifacts from the Middle East, from the black market, like illegally, into the U.S. because they are also the corporation that maybe 10-ish years ago at this point. Yeah, I was gonna say Hobby Lobby also did. Yeah, Hobby Lobby was the one that made the big case about how corporations have rights because they didn't want to pay for their employees to have birth control because they consider themselves a Christian company. Which I'm sure they're not the only one, but that was the big story that made the news. I have 700 Steam games, 700 GOG games. I have plenty of other games that weren't made by garbage people. Okay. That's okay. I like bulk buying of lentils and beans by local consumer co-op. Ethical and also cheap. I actually wish there was a better place to get foodstuffs around here. I really wish there was a better place to get groceries around here. Aaron's actually gonna make lentils here soon. Oh, it's the same blue. Whoop. We do that. It's this blue. Like my PCC is so close. There's a handful around Seattle. Yeah, the problem. So the trick with where I live is it's very much a like it wants to be a fancy like rich neighborhood, but it doesn't have a lot of the bullshit like that where you can you know, where rich people to go to spend all their rich people money. It's just basically right now a big tourist thing. And it's still pretty red, annoyingly. Like right now, speak like how red it is. We're dealing with all these nonsense book bans that conservatives are doing everywhere. Which is really fun. I've gotten when the top side said .exe, I don't know if it was an old Sonic thing or Mega Man. Oh yeah, it's oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, because Lugo put it in. Lugo's been playing a bunch of Battle Network. Okay, Stream Raiders is going. You'd think at this point I could probably just draw Bulbasaur from memory, but never hurts. Never hurts to have a reference. Instagram idea, Bulbasaur from memory. I don't know if you follow Garfield from memory. It's amazing. That sounds great. I lived in Seattle for 5 years. Getting affordable groceries is always a struggle, let alone shopping at fancy stores. Yeah, I feel that. We shop at Walmart most of the time, and Aldi's when we can time afford the trip out. But most of the time, on the weekends, we're doing so much, it's we just get a pickup order from Walmart. Okay. Oh no, hang on. New layer. I feel like this was the play when I learned layers. When I got layers, that was when I really got on the bullshit. Okay. Because then we draw the ear. And then it's down. And around. And that's a boy. Okay. In Florida, doesn't get cold enough for layers. Saying I don't live in Florida anymore. You're just making a joke. You're just being a goof. Living in Florida for that long did raise your core temperature, however. Probably. Well, I mean, I lived there my whole life, so. I don't want to pay $22 for this enamel pop socket, but I absolutely do. I'm being a goof. But I forgot you weren't living there anymore. It's okay. It's okay. I saw Jacksonville elected a Democrat for the first time in 30 years. Yeah. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Florida is going to move bluer here very soon because people are sick of DeSantis's bullshit. People are sick of DeSantis's bullshit, and everybody who like wants DeSantis to do shit is dying. Because they all died from COVID or they're old. Yeah, let's do. This is a silly idea, but I like it. My mom and grandma are in St. Pete right now on their yearly vacation. Escape from the rest of my relatives. Then we should renovate the Randy Macho Man non-international airport. That's still such a good joke. Yeah, there's part of me that wishes we didn't have to leave, but there basically wasn't an option, you know? There basically wasn't an option. I'm sure I've talked about it. When I buy games, I like them in person. My 3 options are Myers, which doesn't sell a lot of games. GameStop's what I despise. but I have to if I want older games, or say midnight release or Walmart, which now I'm at a difficult choice. I haven't heard it, but I won't have you repeat. Florida Magic place to me as a kid because there were cute littles all over. Yeah, and that's fair. It's such a different thing than like the parks, you know. And I say this as a person that, you know, I lived in Florida for a number of years. I went to all the parks a number of times. Not drastically much in my adult years, but it's really funny. When I was a teenager, I lived in Naples, and we would drive up to Tampa to go to Busch Gardens a bunch. We would drive up to Orlando to go to like SeaWorld and stuff like that. And then when I became an adult, I lived in Tampa and you know, spent time in Orlando away from those parks. And it's so like, we used to live down the street from Busch Gardens. And it's really funny how you just forget that it's there. I would just literally forget it was there. I don't know, exact scenario like that. I'm a huge roller coaster fan who's somehow never been to Cedar Point. Oh man, I really want to go to Cedar Point because we're not that far from it. We're not that far from it. People get on planes to go around the world. I'm 4 hours by car. I'll meet up for a Cedar Point party. I kind of remember the day that I got over being scared of roller coasters. And it was all at once. There was just one day that we went to Busch Gardens, and I was just like, fuck it. I haven't been on one in a little bit, but I had bad experience as a kid once at a shady carnival. We got set up in a parking lot like you do. I got over it at Kings Island. Kings Island's a banger. I never would do the shady parking lot carnivals because they're everywhere in Florida. They're everywhere in Florida. Like roller coasters, my tummy can't handle spinning stuff like that. Oh yeah. I'm right there with you. Dustin. I can't do it either. Roller coasters are over quick enough. You can keep moving with it, you know? Roller coasters only take a couple minutes. Tilt-a-whirls, I was never a fan of. The Space Needle? I don't think correct me if I'm wrong. That's not so much like a ride, right? Like a Wolf Lodge with an indoor water park. Aaron was saying they're about to reopen the water parks around here, which could be fun. Could be a fun time. The Space Needle rotates once an hour. Oh, I didn't even realize it rotated. I didn't even realize it rotated, so holy cow. Of course, Mobile, you'll see most of the city. If you draw it with the dessert and such, you can do the whole hour. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. Ohioans love being proud of the things they have nothing to do with. That's absolutely true for being roller coaster mecca. I'm including myself in that. Hang on. I'm gonna send Jesse a link. I gotta send Jesse a link to the fucking terror park we have here. Ooh, that line went too long. That line needed to go like this because this comes down. Near. It's me, Kira. Kira, it's you. Hello. Seattle ghost stores are more fun. That sounds good. That sounds fun. I could get down with a ghost store. I get down with a ghost store. Kara, how are you doing today? Eat shit, world. Reading Pokemon fan fiction? Uh-oh. Glass Museum, whatever it's called by the Space Needle is more interesting to me. I didn't wake up great, but I'm doing better. I feel that. I woke up in a very poor mood. And stream has helped quite a bit. So I feel that. Got a couple buildings that are just permanent warehouses. People keep buying them and turning them into bars, and 6 months later, nope.
Trans rights.
Hell yeah, trans rights. I support trans rights and trans wrongs. I need to find more cameos of people saying trans rights. If you mission to chat, if you come across cameos of cool people saying trans rights, Let me know. Send them to old Poppy. It's very funny to send a link to Jesse for the fucking like wild haunted house thing near me. That it's like also, Jesse, please don't come down to go to that thing. I will not go. I will not go. I'm a big old baby scaredy pants. If you want to come down and then like go to dinner, that sounds great. But there's more haunts in Ohio than I can see. Listen, you're the one talking about doing all these road trips. All I'm saying is don't put on the road trip itinerary, go to haunted house with Matt. It will not occur. Only got a one out of state haunt. That was an absolutely destination thing. Haunted Overload in New Hampshire. It's absolutely spectacular. I'm going to Google it and it's going to be scary. Haunted Overload. The fact that it's called Haunted Overload tells me they want to scare my butthole. I'm a big old scaredy pants me watching play horror games. The fact that I can, I've seen this. Yeah. I'm a big old scaredy pants. Also, Matt. I've seen this. Yeah, there's so when COVID was at its peak, when COVID was like in full swing in 2019, Aaron and I got into a YouTube channel that's a guy who just goes to haunted houses and like goes to the haunted house and shows you the whole thing and does the whole 9 yards. Need that job, Lamo? I mean, he's just a YouTuber. Get a cool camera and marry a goth lady, and you got the same shit. So we discovered he went to Hallowscream. He went to he went to all of them, right? And he goes to a bunch of these other things, and I'm just like, and Aaron and I are like, this is great. This is what we want. This is what we want. Because we don't want to go to a haunted house, but I would like to see a haunted house because they're cool. Like Jesse said, like especially that one, Haunted Overload. There's a ton of work that goes into it. There's a ton of like actual like artistic endeavor, artistic effort and stuff that like I, even as a scaredy little baby pants, can look at and appreciate and go, wow, that's really good. Good on you. Y'all did a ton of work and it's amazing. You know? But the road trips, as I'm going to haunter stuff, it's more local folklore, ghost stories, and murder sites of Halloween haunts. I don't have many of their destinations. I should send you the guy's this guy's YouTube page. I should send you this guy's YouTube page. I think you'd be into it. Cause he goes to like let me see if I can find it. Really quick. No, it'll be on my other. Oh no, I think I remember the name. I don't. I thought I did. I don't. I was wrong. He goes to murder sites and stuff like that too. So I'm surprised you learn I'm a designated haunted house planner every year for my friend group. It does not. It does not surprise me. My favorites are the one out in sticks, clearly put together by a dozen people trying their damnedest. That's always fun. Listen, there's a reason. There's a reason I don't want to go to these things, and it's because they're too good. They're too good. They're too scary. They're too scary. 5 me. Please warn me before haunting my house. They're too scary. 5 me. Bring Matt only to bad haunted houses. Well, no, because that sounds like a bummer. That sounds like a bummer. I don't want to go to a bad haunted house. I don't want to go to a bad haunted house. That sounds bad. That sounds like a bad time. There's a genius one near me called the Lewisburg Haunted Cave. Oh, good. We're combining two of my biggest fears. Have to descend into a real natural cave? No, that sounds no. Mm-mm. What's more terrifying than a real cave? Let me tell you, buddy. Few things. Warning on the Seattle Ghost Store, if I remember correctly. You stand outside the haunted sites, you don't go into them. Jesse's gonna break away from the tour group. Not gonna lie, that sounds awesome, but not for me. Yeah, there's a part of me that's like, that sounds fun for people who aren't scaredy baby cry pants. When you cross the water bridge in pure darkness at the very beginning, sometimes hands will tickle your ankles. Oh, buddy, I hope you don't like those fingers. I hope you don't like those fingers, because there's gonna be some stompies. Hope. There's gonna be some stompies. And I'm sorry. Can't do it. I'm sorry. I can play horror video games sometimes. That's what I got. That's what I got for you. That's what I can do for you. That's what I bring to the table. I love being around people with normal thresholds for terror. I can mostly play scary video games. I don't know if I've played a video game yet that I've considered actually scary. Song of Horror had some pretty scary bits, but it overall was not very scary. That reminds me, I have Signalis on my wish list. Yeah, Signalis is good. It's on sale. It's on sale right now for Steam and Switch. Jesse, you should play Signalis. It's on my wish list for a bigger discount. That's fair. Saint, do you not have Game Pass? I thought you had Game Pass. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought you had Game Pass. New World, if you want to expose me to scary things, be prepared to hold me for hours afterwards. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair exchange. I sure don't. Okay. I don't know why I thought that. The first 2 playthroughs of Mortuary Assistant had some good spooks for me. I almost got that last year. For Scaretober. It was on the list of consideration. It was on the like, maybe list. Let me see. I told Aaron I keep all of my Scaretober planning so that I remember like every game that I've thought of, because it helps when like this year when I want to remember. As you happen to play games at the same time they're on Game Pass. I love having Game Pass. I between Game Pass and Humble Choice, I basically don't buy games. between Game Pass and Humble Choice, and then obviously like every ROM, like Infinity ROMs, like I'm fine. It's like I'm good. I'm fine. You know, I like the use of the kind of puzzle out of the source of the haunting game mechanic. It's all the Phasmophobia type games for the loser babes about this. Mortuary Assistant is really good. I've watched a couple different people check it out. It's pretty good. Okay, so the helmet is here. The helmet is here. Okay, we just don't see the other side. That solves that problem. That solves that problem. We just don't see the other time. It gets routine very quickly if you try to go for all the endings. That's not really the game's fault. Yeah, that's any game. That's any game. Like I keep thinking about wanting to go back and play Signalis again to get the different endings. And it's just long enough that I'm like, it would be fun, but also I'm still trying to go back and finish. Signalis has multiple endings. Signalis has like 4 endings. Are you playing it right? Are you playing it right now, Saint? You don't have it? Okay. Because there is technically a spoiler for that game that I feel like is essential to know. Because I have seen enough people talk about it. I remember you and a couple of the people playing it. Okay, that was gonna be my next question. I was like, did you watch me play it? The only problem I have with that game is well, I don't even want to say. It's a spoiler, and it's one of those things where it's like I think it's important for people to know, but also I don't know. I would feel bad. I don't know. I feel like people might be upset if they know about it, and so I don't want to risk it. People have complex relationships with spoilers. Somebody I usually agree with on TikTok that I've been following for forever did a video the other day, and she's like, if a spoiler can ruin your enjoyment with a piece of media, then it wasn't a good piece of media to begin with. And I was like, like, that sounds like you don't have a problem with spoilers, which is different than spoilers not being a like that's a different thing. Is it a content warning? No, it's not a content warning. No, if it was a content warning, I would feel much more emboldened to share it if it was a content warning. Definitely at games where I got to a certain point, I really would have liked to have known. IDK, if being told about it would have helped. Yeah, content warnings are tricky for that exact purpose. I think the Demon Pets Unleashed game did it the best that I've seen, because it was just like boom, like, hey, here's what's gonna happen, and I think having that amount of say over your experience is the best part. It's kind of the best way to do it. But I understand what people mean when they talk about like, oh yeah, I was spoiled for this and it didn't bother my enjoyment. I'm like, okay, it really depends on the spoiler. Is there a does the dog live for games? Does the dog live or does the dog die handles games. They actually do games. Oh, I guess he wouldn't have his little toes, his little claws. Educated matters of ruining experience entirely, depriving someone of the entire experience they should be able to have. It's a really weird. It was a really weird take on her part. It's a really weird take on her part to be like, yeah, if media is determined by a spoiler, then it's bad media, and I'm like, Mostly large games have had a hell of a time finding content warnings for smaller games, but so it goes. The industry is getting better, but yes, 100. You are 100% correct, Saint. Yeah, and her example was not a good one, if I'm honest, for what it was, because her example was like, oh yeah, like I played The Last of Us, and you know, I knew that The Last of Us 2 existed, and thus that kind of spoils the ending. And I'm like, it doesn't, like, I'm like, but like, one, it kind of does, it kind of doesn't. Because one of those is the canonical ending and one of them isn't the canonical ending. And then it's an awful example. It is a really bad example for the point she was trying to convey. And I'm like, in two, like, it really just felt like an example of people getting on social media and making a universal statement when what they should do is make a general statement and say like, I don't mind spoilers because such and such and such, you know? This isn't the best Bulbasaur I've ever drawn, if I'm honest with myself. But we're trying to put a lot of details in here, so basically invalidates anything with a mystery as good media. Yeah, if it's a secret, if it has a secret, it's bad media. I have kind of an ancillary experience like that. I grew up watching gave up watching Game of Thrones, decided to stick to the books because of reasons. I got sad when people wouldn't shut the fuck up about post-book content for the show, which was written with guidance for GMR. And oh yeah, oh my god, Jesse, I can't tell you the number of times Brian and I would complain about certain individuals spoiling Game of Thrones specifically, and their response was basically like, well, if you don't want to be spoiled, you should stay off the internet. Josie. Imagine saying something like murdering the owner expense isn't good media because you can be spoiled on the ending. I Here's the thing, because I don't want to put words in her mouth. What I think is for this example, right? For this example, what I would say, like for mystery novels, for crime novels, that sort of thing. I don't think knowing who the killer is at the end ruins the experience of the book, because well-written mystery works usually are about more than just who did the killing. Do you know what I mean? There's usually more going on. It is a very ridiculous take. But just in the interest of not saying a bunch of things, play those idiots in the Drag Race fandom as well. Oh, especially, God, it's got to be especially ridiculous for game shows like Survivor and stuff. Like, ugh. I know people behind on Masked Singer get mad if you reveal the winner, but I can't comment on if that ruins the show. I think this is the thing, right? This is my more specific point. I think that's a case-by-case basis. I think that's an individual thing, right? Does it ruin the show for you to know that? I think it's impossible to say it doesn't ruin it, and if it does, then somehow you're bad at media consumption. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of Game of Thrones spoilers, I think there is a thing that happens at the end of the first book that you could have spoiled for you that I don't think would ruin the experience of that book leading up to it. Because and again, this is like a media analysis thing that I wouldn't just tell someone this and say, now see if this ruins your experience. But the problem is with spoilers, you can only come to examples after the fact. Do you know what I mean? You can only view spoilers after the fact. You cannot, I can't be we can't split the universe to where I tell someone a spoiler and I didn't tell them a spoiler. And then after they experience that media, we put them back together and they've had both experiences and can compare and contrast. That's impossible. So it's impossible to say whether knowledge of a spoiler does or doesn't hinder your enjoyment. Sometimes I've gone into a thing and I want to know exactly what happens with this before I engage with this because I want to know. And I go and I look up that information. Or sometimes I go, I don't want to know anything about this before I get into it. And then I do it that way. It's the very specific thing. There are games that I will watch Let's Plays of because I don't mind if I know what happens in the game to some extent versus not watching them whatsoever. Give people a chance to view the content. Yeah. And so it feels very I'm better at media than you, which is weird to say. Only bad media is ruined by spoilers. It's just weird. I stitched or I saved it because I'm going to be like, hey, listen, I'm usually down with your takes, or I at least see where you're coming from. I think this is a big whiff. In all honesty, I think this is a big miss. The same Game of Thrones watcher you mentioned had me in their ear telling them about the Red Wedding in the book. I doubt they'd have been appreciative. God, yeah. I'm the best at media by only watching live content. Anything else is ruined. Don't tell me about the concept of time travel. Yeah, you can only watch content live. That's it. Anything after the fact is a lesser experience. You have to watch live content. Matt, reduce the stream delay. It's ruining my experience. People are seeing the content before me, and that's a lesser experience. How dare this happen? Why you say Tsukumo's that guy from fucking Judgment? Yeah, that guy. That fucking guy. You might have missed it. No, I if it was a thing last night, I definitely missed it. If there was a thing last night, I definitely missed it. I was not not as cognizant of the stream as I would have liked to have been. Kata calls him to hang out. Tsukumo's like, no, tonight's anime night. Kata's like, fucking, are you for real? Just watch it later. You don't understand. I have to watch it live with the chat on. Listen, Tsukumo's a nerd, but also I get it. Tsukumo's a nerd, but also I get it. You know what I mean? It's the funniest sequence of everyone turning Kaido down for drinks. I do love him calling fucking Tsukumo. That's very good. That's very good. All right, we're gonna make this a little bigger. I mean, here's the thing. I understand like the live experience, and especially if you're interacting with other people, I get it. But also, God, that's funny as shit. I don't like the background. That's a little better. That's a little closer to what I'm going for. All right. There we go. I'm pretty happy about this, if I'm honest. I'm pretty happy about this one. I'm pretty happy about this one. I use this new beard spray that Aaron picked up for me literally just once yesterday, and it's so nice. All right. So we have one final drawing that I can probably do in this time frame. This comes to us courtesy of Saint Guard. Close all of these fucking reference photos. Ba 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 ba. Ah, gross. Someone made a 3D printed Kirby without shoes, and that's... It's sadly exactly what I need as a reference because it was the idea that I had, but also I hate it. Thanks. Punish Suezo? God. I'll have to look up a picture of Suezo and then also punish Snake. Hey, Matt. Hey, what's up? I stole your shoes to give them to poor Kirby? Oh. Guess what? I wasn't going to. Then I realized Suezo has one eye and an eye patch is the funniest. It's going to be his big eye and then just a little eye patch on the side. Precisely. I have still not played any of the Metal Gear Solid games. I feel like I should. I've been watching Run Button do them. And I've been like, this is too big. This is too big. I didn't expect to love them as much as I did. Jesse, help me convince Brian to play Metal Gear Rising as one of his terrible stream games with me. Read to me as, oh, boring war game when I knew nothing about it. It seemed like militarized bang bang shit. But actually, it's a gay soap opera. It's accurate. My source, Senator, is that I made it the fuck up. I appreciate everyone got mad at the thing that I said. I respect it. Truly. It's also deep in conspiracy weirdo shit that speaks to me. Oh my god. So I just finished I finished Run Button playing Metal Gear Solid 2. And I was like, this is the most conspiracy theorist video game I've ever seen in my life. Overall weirdness of Hideo Kojima. I need scissors. It was just ridiculous. I was just like, I can't believe that someone made this game. There was a part of me where I could not believe that this game was like produced and shipped and released. Everything, yeah. Just everything. I think that's the true shit about Kojima, is that he makes games and you're like, I can't believe that they made this game. You're like, I can't believe this is what this is. Oh, did I have the... Oh, I had the brush way too thick. How sometimes there's really stirring commentary on the nature of war and militarization coming to a larger machine, and sometimes it's he make him walk forward in the PP. The man's name is Johnny and he shits himself. This man exists throughout all of history and his name is Johnny Sasaki and he always shits his pants. And then there's a 45-minute cutscene about the dehumanization of soldiers as part of the military industrial complex that exists in Western society. This looks like I'm giving Kirby high heels. That's not what's happening, though. Those games are great. Why not? Yeah, and just like, sure. Peppier Bays with anime girl photos. Why not? Yeah, like what? Yeah, sure. Fucking. Jesse, do you know how much do you know about how much do you know about the PSP games? Because the PSP games, I think, have the worst acid. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's acid. Brian's horny for him. Guess who else is horny for him? The card game lover has logged on. Metal Gear Acid was wild because it would you could do like AR levels, which was really cool. You would I had this and I'm so mad I got rid of it. You had the PSP-I, which was literally an AR like thing that came with the game that you would put over your PSP. And it was a 3D thing so that you could see the game in 3D. Like legitimately, you could play the entire game in 3D if you wanted to, if you were a weirdo. What did they do with it? They had some sexy ladies just like, oh, I'm being a sexy lady. And everybody's like, fucking Kojima, I swear to God. Like, why can't you just... What did you do? Haven't touched it. It was in the playthrough. I didn't have custom firmware. I was in the middle of doing portable ops. My controller just started. Whenever I think of Kojima, the peak of my head is him posting the big titty mouse pad of quiet to Twitter. That's, yeah. That's him. That's him. It makes it really difficult to be like, he's a gaming auteur, but I mean, people like Tarantino too, I guess. I named my dog after John Waters actress. I can't say shit for pervert cinema. There's a difference between pervert cinema and making cinema as a pervert. I'm gonna go out on a limb. This is the most terrifying thing I think I've ever seen. This is maybe the most terrifying thing that's ever. I guess Uwe Boll is more the latter. Yeah. Florida Kirby stares into your soul. Shocker, Florida Kirby is a soulless orange. Doing all these drawings has honestly changed the way I think about art. Guys who are guesting on that Vince McMahon pod get distracted, tell a story about how Uwe Boll challenged one of them to a fight. And the other one, who was more of a hamsteak, was like, I'll do it. And suddenly he went quiet. Soulless Orange does describe where he used to live. Cause yeah, I remember this, where like Uwe Boll was so sick of critics shitting on his movies, where he was like, if you want to talk shit about my movie, you have to challenge me to a boxing match. And people were like, okay. And then he never said anything else about that. Who the fuck is Uwe Boll? I don't actually need to know. Who the fuck is Uwe Boll? I'm not laughing at you like for you not knowing. It's just a really funny sentence. Because for a while, like you could not talk about, like Uwe Boll was everywhere. Everyone was always talking about Uwe Boll. Like, he was everywhere. All I know about him was House of the Dead. No one saw that shit. He did Blood Rain as well, which is the only one that I'm even partially interested in. Because I played the Blood Rain demo for my Xbox way too many times. What other details does Kirby need here? Needs arms. Kirby's arms are maybe the hardest thing to draw. Because they're just kind of on there. Why does he have legs? Kirby has legs. And because I needed something to attach the sandals to. Kirby has feet. IDK if he really has legs. Well, this is what they look like. I thought about the joke of him wearing sandals. I was like, that's really funny. Why are you orange, Kirby? Because he's in Florida and he ate an orange. He went to Florida. He ate an orange. He ate one of those giant orange-shaped markets where they sell oranges. Yeah, he ate all of the oranges. He ate all of them. This should be the new flag of Florida. What else does he need to be Florida Kirby? We got 15 minutes, and I feel like this is light on details. Like, we could draw... I don't actually know Florida local stuff, so don't ask me. I picked up 2 games yesterday. What did you get? What did you get, Poke? Is there a stamp tool? Majora's Mask 3D and Tetris Rhythm Final Bar Line. I need to get Final Bar Line. The only time I've been in Florida was in an airport. You know what? I was talking to a friend of mine about how if you go to some place but you don't leave the airport, you technically haven't been there. That does not count for Florida. That does not count for Florida. So I don't have a stamp tool. Okay. So we got a high rise in the background. Why is that? Because everywhere you go in Florida is close enough to an airport. Like, you either are at a mall or you're at a theme park or like it's so yeah, it's so uninspired. Like, if you've been to a beach, you've been to a Florida beach. You know what I mean? There's nothing in Florida aside from some very, very specific things that are not the reasons people go to Florida. There's nothing unique in Florida. You know, there's nothing in Florida that you're like, I'm going to Florida and it's an experience I can only have in Florida. Unless you want to have your rights taken away by your local government, which, hey, guess what? It's coming to a city near you.
Hey, did you just take his wallet? You took that guy's wallet.
I think this is it. I think we landed on Florida Kirby. I'll make him a little bigger, just because he should occupy more of the frame. But I think we did it, chat. I think we did it. Florida Kirby. We did it. We caught up. We caught up on the drawings. Matt, there's a drawing in the queue. That's from today. I don't count that. We caught up on the 3 drawings that were in the queue before today. The Florida blob we all wanted. I feel better having the drawings done. I feel better being caught up on the drawings. Cause it sucks when I feel like I have like a thing hanging over me, you know? You reach the Divine Beast with the escort mission? Oh, I forgot about that. That's not a good time. See you Friday, might have a good one, Poke. Thank you for hanging out. It's what's meant by Blorbo. Yep. Florida Kirby has been your sword of Damocles. That's just the most recent one, but I was like, we're starting to have too many. We're starting to have too many. Hey Matt, hey Saint. Is anyone told you you're great today? No, honestly. No. Guess what? That's gonna continue, Saint Leaves. That's gonna stay that way, Lurk.
Ice Bear will hunt them down.
I'm sorry that Kirby isn't racist enough to be Florida Kirby. Listen, Kirby can't be racist. But yeah, thank you, Saint. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. That'd be so mean. Yeah, Kirby's not mean. Not enough meth, 2 out of 10. There's a point. You know, I'll give him that one. I'll give him that one. Put a loudly inappropriate t-shirt, stand behind Kirby, and it's my childhood memories of Florida. I do. Hang on. Inspiration strikes. Not me throwing shade at the shithole state I live in. No, sir. Listen, more's your right. Such is your right. I'm never going to stop you. Also, hi, Zach. I love you, buddy. I hope you're having a good day. I love you. I hope things are going well. I want everything good for you. I saw that picture of Loaf the Bean put up the other day. It's wonderful, incredible, truly blessed timeline. My great grandparents lived right side of Clearwater. That's where we stayed. It's just shitty souvenir style. Oh yeah. Ugh. Clearwater's so bad too. Ugh. Hang on. I gotta get a piece of true Florida gift shop culture in here. Zach's gonna see it. Zach's gonna know what I'm drawing probably before I finish it. Now, granted, this is nowhere near the beach. But I already know, and you haven't started. I've seen TikToks of people seeing this, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, dog, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Florida. And yes, I am drawing with a reference photo in case anyone is concerned that I would miss an incredibly important detail. Going to LA felt like going to Florida, everything kind of tacky and awful. Ooh, I believe that. Yeah. I feel like LA would have that same vibe. I feel like LA has that same vibe. Piquing our collective morbid curiosity. There it is, just as prophecy foretold. Zach's like, I wrote what I thought it was gonna be and put it in an envelope, and damned if I wasn't dead on. I have a spiritual connection to this thing. I went to a con a few years in a row. Well, a few cons that are fucking near this thing, and it's hilarious and atrocious to see every time. Okay, we don't have to worry about how this looks because I've got some opinions of someone from San Diego who now lives in Northern California. Does it end with you giving the mermaid tickle bitties? That would be funny, wouldn't it? How does this... They redid her head at some point. What? That they redid they redid her makeup at some point. Oh my god. Oh god, did they? Yeah, I'm seeing pictures. I'm seeing pictures where she doesn't have a lot of makeup, and then I'm seeing pictures where she has like very distinct kind of gaudy makeup. I'm so curious what this is. Search for Orlando Mermaid Store and you will see pictures. Hi, sweetie. I realized like I was gonna stress out about the hands, and I was like, I don't need to stress out about how the hands look. Boy, howdy, it's a thing. Oh, it's something. It's incredible. Distinctive is exactly the word I would use. It is my second favorite terrible Florida gift shop. The first being the Wizard gift shop. The Wizard gift shop is actually good, and this is terrible. Only 4 rows down is yeah. I've driven past both of them multiple times in the same day. Like, because such is Florida. This place is full of the cheapest crap chotch. This place is like the place to go for absolute tourist bullshit. Like, honestly, the worst items. Doing a public service with a they do let you know pretty right away what you're getting yourself into. Oh, I'm annoyed it took me this long to get to the... Ugh, I'm not gonna do it justice. There's a part of me that's just like, I don't care about how good this is. But then there's also a part of me that wants to convey this place accurately. And I know I can't, you know? Like I just won't be able to. And then, so it's more about getting the vibe. It's more about getting the aesthetic. The annoying bakery down the block from me just closed. I'd be absolutely thrilled if something this gaudy went up there. I go out for 10 minutes, come back, Matt's doing Aquaman. So Dustin, this is a famous, infamous gift shop in Orlando. Because as you can see, we're drawing Florida Kirby and a fixture. I hate that you're correct. Like, I hate that that's accurate. Do you know what I mean? To give y'all context, this place is situated right on a highway near Disney World, but it's surrounded by restaurants that are otherwise dead or infamous for their low prices and cheap quality. Yeah, we used to go down to there's like a Perkins, like there's a Cracker Barrel. It's a Cracker Barrel like 3 blocks from this thing, because the hotel that we stay at when we go to this con in Orlando is 3 blocks the other way. Welcome to living in America, driving 6 blocks to be able to go to breakfast. There's a Sizzler across the street from this thing. You're absolutely right. There is. There absolutely is. It's America's bad. America's bad. That should be the subtitle of this Kirby drawing. America's bad. The whole like 10 square miles around this thing is peak America. Yeah. This area specifically is just like, if you want to see why America is atrocious, if you want to see why people want to live in 15-minute cities, Orlando. Just all of Orlando. Except all that is bad. I refuse to accept the Enormous Mermaid is doing anything but improving the area and aesthetic, if nothing else. Oh my god. Give me the Tacky Ripley's Believe It or Not buildings. I've been there. I've been to that one. I went to that one a couple times. There was an FAO Schwartz in the mall behind it that closed. I was actually bummed. Because the FAO Schwartz was kind of dope. FAO Schwartz, there's a fucking shout. Yeah. I don't know if anything went into where that FAO Schwartz was, because there was a huge teddy bear built into the fucking like foundation. Oh, there we go. There we go. Florida Kirby. I went out of my way to see a 35-foot tall bobblehead with burgers for hands Saturday. I like what I like. There it is. Florida Kirby, we did it. We got there. We got there. I'm pleased that I requested this. You know, I'm glad we got there. I'm glad we got the flip-flops really make it pop. Sane said, why does Kirby have legs? I was like, because I had to draw the sandals. And they're like, okay. So good. Do they sell the offensive like why my wife is a bitch shirts there that are all over the beach, or like I love boobs? 100%. 100%. This is exactly where they sell them. I, as a teenager, almost bought a female body inspector t-shirt from maybe not that exact store, but one of those stores. One of these stores. Like really close, because I was 14. You know what I'm like? That's who they make these shirts for. They make them for 14-year-olds. So, sorry, that rules. I don't know. Listen, I appreciate that you think it rules, and I hope you enjoy that. That's all. That's all I have. That's all I have. That's all I have. You can do no wrong in my eyes, huge mermaid, purveyor of garbage. All right. Oh, okay. Josh is not streaming today, so that's so okay. In fairness, Jesse, I also love. All right. Florida Kirby, you are truly a blessing. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you to everybody who came and hung out for this big silly art time. Thank you to Lugo and Helix and Saint who requested all the drawings we did today. I really appreciate it. These drawings are really fun, but really make me work for it. So I hope everybody enjoys Matt using parts of my brain that I don't often use, because I don't do a lot of art. Hopefully, like I said the other day, we're gonna do like mini painting streams and that sort of thing, because that's the thing I've been talking about doing for like 2 fucking years. You know, hopefully we'll get to those. I don't want to do it in this setup because it's still so dark. But hopefully after we rearrange the living room, it'll be a little brighter. I'll feel a little better about it. I can set it up a little nicer. I'll have more space to operate. Matt creates content while they create content. Listen, I will paint. Here's what the stream will be. The stream will be me painting a Marvel United figure, and then me and Jesse relating every single thing that character has ever done. And that's great. We'll talk about the history of that character and every stupid little storyline they've been in, and it'll be great. It'll be a wonderful time. It'll be a wonderful time when we had by on. I'll find a way to bring up Martin next. Yo, Doug, I heard you like content. It's an old meme, sir, but it checks out. Oh, I spelled Val's name wrong. Nope, I did it wrong again. I did it. There we go. All right, we're gonna raid Val. Val is playing a bunch of indie demos today. Y'all know how much I love hanging out with Val. Val is a wonderful creator. So yeah, I'm off tomorrow. I'm gonna be off tomorrow, right? Because I don't have to take Friday. this week? It's next week? Right. So I'm off tomorrow. Next week I will be streaming Thursday because I will be off Friday. And that Monday. So I do have a little stream break coming up. I will put all of that on the schedule in case you are unsure. But I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to try to get a bunch of YouTube stuff done, off my plate, ready to go. I'm sure you noticed the new clips during the BRB, and that's because of all of my work doing Sonic Mania that I have to upload. But I'm going to go have some food, and I'm going to go relax. I might play a little Destiny, something like that. But again, thank you everybody for being here and hanging out. Thank you again to Helix for the resub today. And thank you to everybody playing Marvel Strike Force. You have until Monday. I'll put the details in the Discord soon so everybody knows what they got to do. But until I see you on Friday, take care of yourself. I love and appreciate you. I'll see you then.